All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're unpacking the core ideas from a really transformative book called Letting Go by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And it's built on a pretty radical premise. What if the secret to happiness wasn't about getting something new, but about releasing all the negative stuff that's already holding you back? We're going to walk through the exact technique he lays out for doing just that.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at why our happiness can feel so, well, fragile. Then, we'll get into the wild idea of the energy behind our feelings. After that, the main event, the step-by-step surrender mechanism itself. We'll even see it work in a stunning real-life example. And finally, we'll tie it all together to show how this helps you reclaim your own inner power.
Okay, so first up, the fragility of happiness. Let's start with a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Why is it so easy to get thrown completely off balance?
You know how it is, right? Someone makes one little rude comment, you get cut off in traffic, or maybe you just get a weird look from a coworker. And boom, a perfectly good day is just ruined. Why are we so vulnerable? Why does our happiness feel like it's built on such shaky ground?
Well, according to Dr. Hawkins, the whole problem is that we've got a fundamental misunderstanding of where happiness even comes from. We're taught to chase it outside of ourselves, in a better job, a new relationship, more money. But when we do that, we become totally dependent on things we can't control. It's like we're puppets, and the world is just pulling our strings. The big insight here is that we've been looking in completely the wrong place all along.
So to really get why we're so fragile, we have to understand what our feelings actually are. And this next idea might totally shift how you think about your own emotions. In Dr. Hawkins' view, an emotion isn't just some abstract thought in your head. He describes it as a real, measurable energy field. Seriously. The idea is that every feeling you have emits a specific vibration that has a direct impact on your physical body. He even points to things like Kirlian photography, which can actually capture the body's energy field, showing how it literally changes in color and size depending on what you're feeling.
And these emotional energies, they exist on a kind of spectrum. Down at the bottom, you've got these really heavy, draining states like fear, grief, and apathy. And way up at the top, you have these expansive, light feelings like courage, acceptance, and love. Now, the real problem isn't that we have these low-energy feelings. The problem is what we do with them. We try to suppress them. We push them down, hoping they'll just go away. But they don't. They just build up inside, creating this internal pressure that eventually bubbles up as anxiety, depression, or even physical sickness. So, if stuffing our feelings down is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to the absolute heart of the book. A simple but seriously powerful technique he calls the surrender mechanism.
Okay, let's walk through this. It's basically 4 simple steps. Number 1, you just acknowledge the feeling. You stop fighting it. Number 2, you allow yourself to actually feel it without judging yourself for it or trying to make it go away. Just observe it. 3, you just let the feeling be there until it runs out of steam and passes on its own, kind of like a cloud just drifting through the sky. And finally, and this one's the real game changer, you relinquish the secret little payoff you get from holding on to the feeling. You know, like the feeling of being right that comes with anger, or the sympathy you get from playing the victim. You have to let that go too.
This quote really nails it. See, surrender isn't about being weak or giving up. It's the total opposite of resistance. Imagine trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes constant effort, right? Letting go is just stopping. You stop pushing down, you stop feeding the feeling with your energy, and it just naturally loses its power and floats to the surface.
Now, I know this can sound a little abstract. So for this next part, let's look at an amazing real-world example from Dr. Hawkins' own life that shows just how powerful this can be.
Okay, so get this. Dr. Hawkins needed an apartment in New York City. But he didn't just want any old place. He had a very specific list. It had to be reasonably priced, on Fifth Avenue, near Central Park, on the 9th floor, and in the back so it would be quiet. Now, if you know anything about New York real estate, that's pretty much an impossible list. So what did he do? Did he hustle harder, call every broker in the city? Nope. He used the technique. He got crystal clear on his goal, but then he spent the whole day just letting go of the wanting. He surrendered his attachment to the outcome. He decided it would be amazing if it happened, but it would also be totally fine if it didn't. He let go of that desperate, grasping energy.
He just practiced this for one single day. He let go of the intense need for it to happen. And the result? It took less than 24 hours.
The exact apartment he described became available. He walked into a random real estate office, and they told him that the only apartment for rent on the whole of Fifth Avenue had just been listed an hour before he walked in, and it matched his description perfectly, right down to the 9th floor. The impossible became possible, as he said, effortlessly. It's an incredible story about how letting go of the desperate wanting actually cleared the path for the goal to materialize.
So as we get to our final section, you can see this isn't really about manifesting apartments. That story is a metaphor for a massive shift in how we can approach our entire lives. It's really about reclaiming your own inner power.
This whole practice is built on a few core beliefs. First, that a thought isn't just nothing. It's a real thing with energy. Second, that your mind and the feelings it generates are what truly control your body. Third, and this is so important, you are only a victim to what you hold in your mind. A negative belief only has power if you buy into it. And all this leads to this beautiful idea. Your true, happy self is always there, like the sun. When you surrender and let go, you're just removing the clouds of negativity that were blocking it.
And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway from all of this. For so long, we've been looking for happiness in all the wrong places. It isn't something you go out and get from the world. It's an inner state you simply uncover inside yourself just by letting go of everything that isn't you. True, lasting freedom is found from within, not from without.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to take with you as you go about your day. It's worth asking yourself, what old feelings, what grudges, what fears, what clouds are you ready to let go of so your own sun can finally shine through?